video of the BOS, we're going to go into a little bit more detail into the mega report, which is our main report across the entire platform. We'll go in and explore the different unique functions and also the breadth of data that we capture. And furthermore, kind of dig deep into a couple of the key metrics to showcase some workflows. To start with, we're here in the mega report in advanced view at country 7, and we're going to go into a weekly view of October for today's demo. In this, I just want to showcase the functions before we kind of go into the different data pieces. So as you can see, all the different rows within the mega report have this number. This number refers to the number of different categorizations that we can break down the data into. So for instance, in billable hours, we can break the data down into location. Location, we could then break it down into practitioner profession, break that down into funding source, break that all the way down into service category, or even practitioner. So the idea of this is that it allows you to break the data down into meaningful areas to be able to see performance of funding sources, locations, professions, practitioners. This brings us back to obviously to a previous video or another video that goes through the ability for you to create your own category families and break down data into your own categories. So that's where this all kind of flows through into. The next feature, I guess, to showcase is the ability to then understand and click on what makes that data. So in this case, we're at build hours location 1, EP profession. We'll use the NDIS funding stream and we'll click on that 3892. Because we're in hours, this is going to actually bring up appointment-based data. So showcasing what makes up that 38 point whatever hours. So it breaks it down into the individual sessions. You can see here all the information I need from practitioner to service type to location to patient. A whole bunch of other information here on SMS reminders been sent and etc. etc. The beauty of this then is we can actually delve deeper still and go and have a look at the client where we can push over into that client's file and find out all the different information about the client that we have on file for the BOS, from leads through to invoices, appointments, cases, et cetera, et cetera. Even gives us an indication as to whether or not there may be some duplicates occurring. We can then also push over into the different nuclear file or whatever other PMS system you've got. So the idea is that we're not just trying to showcase the data, we're trying to push into action. So obviously, maybe not something that we need to do in terms of billable hours, but as we showcase another metric later called no future bookings, we can showcase how the different functions can work there. So a lot of these data points will have the pop-up, so anywhere that there is. The only ones that won't is if a data point is calculated. So billable hours per working day, it's effectively just a calculation where it looks at the billable hours and then divides it by the number of working days in that week to give us that answer. So there's no data object effectively that's creating that. We can also use our quick graph to essentially have a look at trends, like just clicking the quick draft option on the left-hand side. So they're probably the features that we didn't go through in one of the other videos, which is really, I guess, valuable to see and learn. You can see here that there is the green and red highlighting occurring. So obviously it's showcasing the lowest and highest number, or best and worst case scenario. We are bringing through in an update very soon a whole targeting and benchmarking, I guess, part to all of our reporting systems. We believe in doing things really, really well in our platform, not just pushing things through. So we're taking our time with the targeting and benchmark feature, but it's going to be incredible. Allow for averaging across locations, practice, whatever it is that you want, setting your own physical targets, looking at a whole bunch of different areas, and we'll be looking to our tenants to help us with the design features when it comes to those things. So to showcase, I guess, a few different categorizations we've got going on here, or even some more features, it tells you a breakdown or a bit more information about the row. If you want more information, you can go there. It gives you the understanding of what the pop-up is. So in this case, it's attendances. Of course, I picked something we'll go and use revenue here. So we can click on revenue. This will then bring up all the invoices that's going on in that area, and give you all the invoice data. And as mentioned, we can head straight over and see those things in the thing. So I'll go through, I guess, the data that we see. So it's got a lot of hours kind of basis. We like to use a lot of hour-based metrics instead of appointment. And different appointments can have different durations, which means they have different costs. So I like to kind of utilize the revenue element that's more directed, that can be compared to costs. So again, it links through to your P&L. But we do have obviously all the appointment data coming through too. So we can look at consults, classes. We break that kind of stuff down into that, and minus cancellations. Booked data is a really interesting and good one. It can go through into the future. Unique clients. You'll see here that there's some ghost values, or some values here that are in brackets as opposed to those that are solid. I'll head out to um, another month here. So if we're looking at November obviously hasn't been conducted. So you'll see some differences that will occur. So the ghost is potential. So it's more looking at what's booked, whereas the solid numbers have all got to do with what's billed. So if we go through into the next week when it pops up, we'll be able to see some large levels of discrepancies. So unique clients in November, uh, week ending November 16, has 747 unique clients booked, and 3 apparently are already built off. So this is really good when it comes to preventative measures or making sure that the team are keeping on top of things. So to do so, we'll utilize the no future booking metric. It's a fantastic metric that literally tells us exactly what it sounds like. It's a client that has a booking, no future booking into the future. So this metric is a fantastic one to showcase, I guess, some further function. So you can see here that when we look at this, we can actually click on this number. It gives us, or this no future booking gives us a whole bunch of more data, and actually allows the ability to comment. So I can actually write a comment in here. It won't work on this tested dummy account, but that then will follow this attendance anywhere it goes. So not just in the no future booking, even in the build appointments, or wherever this appointment data goes, that comment will follow. So just gives the ability for you to follow up with practitioners and actually get them to comment on what is going on in their practice. The episode of care column here is also a really, really valuable one, particularly with no future bookings. So in the case of all of these clients leaving with only one appointment, obviously that would share a lot of concern, and you'd want to be following up on that and being like, well, what practitioner is it that's delivering that care, and why are they leaving only after one appointment? Whereas some of these other ones, you may be like, all right, well, they're probably more likely to have gotten the results that they were looking for, and I'm okay with them leaving. A couple of other things, I guess, worth mentioning is that we do have a membership function. At the moment, it is just Stripe based, but that is we are able to customize it, I guess, to different membership functions that different organizations may have. So open and willing to kind of discuss and talk that through. Phone data, there's no phone data linked to this demo account, but we can link to VoIP. As long connectors, as long as they've got API and has good documentation for us to link through to. We also take a whole bunch of lead-based data for your CRMs, so that'll come through. So the whole idea of the Mega Report is to really kind of put everything in one place and be that one source of truth for everything that you need. Probably something else that's worth mentioning is that the platform isn't just a visualization tool that a lot of these other data, I guess, like data platforms are, where they're just showcasing the data. it comes through and it allows us to enables us to be able to actually sort and create automations, connections. For instance, a lead that comes into your CRM, we can actually push through into the BOS and link that through to potential appointments that may pop up for that lead in your practice management software. That cross-platform connection and automation piece is really important, but so too is the ability to be able to break down cancellations into which ways that you want. So a lot of the practice management software out there just tells you if there's been a cancellation ever in that week. We have the ability to kind of go, well, no, we want to see recent cancellations. So attendances that have been cancelled only in the last 14 days or even last minute ones. So let's have a look at cancellations that have been cancelled only in the last 48 hours, because they're the guys that we want to put our cancellation policy on. Um, so yeah, it showcases a lot of that kind of data. Utilization rate is always obviously a popular one, particularly when breaking down into a practitioner's level. Gives us that kind of information, and again allows us to kind of travel through time, and obviously be able to quick graph those kind of things as well to see what's happening. With old Gregory Foster. Last but not least, I'll talk more to the revenue data down the bottom here. So, and cost data. So we do have the ability to bring in information from accounting software. So the likes of Xero and the works. Looking at a whole bunch of complicated ways of figuring out when practitioners are a cost to the business on what days, et cetera, et cetera. So, and breaking that down so that we can see profitability per practitioner based on the costs in one system and the revenue in another. So it does have the platform does have large breadth and the ability to use information from multiple sources gives a lot of ability to play around with metrics that otherwise you wouldn't be able to see or use. It gives us a pretty good understanding of the mega report. There's, as you can see, an incredible amount of data, and if there's something in here that we don't have that you guys like looking at, as long as we can get access to the raw data needed to create that data point, we're open to adding. We've done so numerous times.